So, it's being reported. Theo Hernandez is beginning to lean towards agreeing a deal with Al-Hilal. Simone Inzaghi wants him. Everybody at Al-Hilal wants him. He's arguably their primary target of the summer. It's now beginning to look like he's more and more inclined to accept that offer. And Milan are finally getting rid of a player who wants to stay. Okay, now we've discussed him so many times on this channel. He actually wants to stay. He wants to prove himself. Maybe, just maybe, his incentives are just to stay, leave as a free agent, and get that signing on bonus, which so many players are doing across the world. Maybe, just maybe, his plan is to stay, prove himself, and earn a better contract. Now, I feel like there's so much we don't know internally about what's happened between the board, the management, Theo Hernandez, his agent, from him being offered verbally a deal a few months ago and then the club turning their back and offering him something else. His performances on the pitch have not been consistent, but he is a player that deep down is talented. Deep down, in my opinion, a change of environment might unleash him once again. Now, of course, in football, there's no guarantees. He might go to Al-Hilal, continue to stink it out, and he's one of those players that we look at and say, you're washed, you're finished at the age of 27, 28. And we might look back in 12 months' time and say, Milan dodged the bullet. Now, Theo Hernandez, it's being reported that he's about to accept a deal from Al-Hilal. Now, I saw a report today. I don't know how much truth there is behind it. I saw a report today, which I couldn't believe. Now, it's being reported they want Thiago Santos from Lille, a very, very, very talented, good player, but I think he would be quite expensive. It's being reported Milan are looking at Zinchenko, and it's apparently he is the priority signing for left back. If that is the case, then every single thing that I've said about Iglitare, the way he's rebuilding this team, some of the players that they're currently being linked with, from Javiera to Ardon Jashari, if it's true that the number one priority to replace Theo Hernandez is Zinchenko, then I'm going to tell you guys in 4K, Milan are screwed. Like, screwed to another degree. This guy is shocking. This guy is horrible. Mentally, I don't think he's as good as you think of a player that's played under Pep Guardiola. Like, so many people look at him and say, he's the captain of Ukraine. Pep Guardiola loved him. This and that, he's versatile, he can invert into midfield and this and that. Mentally, the most fragile players out there. I feel like even technically, like, just because he knows how to pass a ball, people exaggerate it. This dude defensively, like, it got to a point where Arteta had to literally force him on the bench because defensively he was a target. Like, have you guys seen that Ronaldinho clip at Barcelona? At Milan, when he's licking his lips in the Champions League, like, when Zinchenko enters the pitch, everybody is licking their lips. He's one of the worst defenders I have ever watched. And I'll be honest with you guys, it doesn't make sense at all. Whether it's signing him to play him in midfield, which is his natural position, signing him to play him as a left back, as a Theo Hernandez replacement, you're better off keeping Theo Hernandez if the replacement is Zinchenko. For me, it doesn't make any sense. And I've never ever bought into this hype of Zinchenko. Just because he can invert, and just because he's won so much with Pep Guardiola, and just because he's good on the ball. He's this elite signing, shocking signing. And apparently it's being reported they want 20 million. Milan need to stay away. Milan need to stay away from this deal. Okay? Now, what's next? It's being also reported that they're looking at Moise Kean. I like this. I'll be honest with you guys. As wild as this may sound, as wild, like the amount of times I've come out and said maybe, just maybe, new environment for somebody like Dusan Vlahovic, it might unlock him. If it comes down to it, Moise Kean or Vlahovic, you go and pay the 50 million release clause at Fiorentina and you get yourself Moise Kean. Moise Kean physically will elevate this team. Now, yes, some might turn around and say he's only had one good campaign in this area. I'll be honest with you guys. He was practically a one-man attack. Like Palladino, the way they play at Fiorentina, it's very route one. It's very vertical. It's more of a case of, we're going to get the ball up to you. What can you do? Can you hold it up? Can you roll the defender? Can you charge? Can you convert these half chances? Moise Kean, like, I'm very surprised other teams across this area or across the world are not looking at him with that 50 million release clause. In my opinion, he's a bargain. He's definitely a player you take the gamble on. Physically, he's strong. He can hold up the ball. He can score you a variety of different goals. He's of the right age. And if Milan are looking to head into this direction of building an Italian core, The dude's Italian. And as of late, he's been playing for Italy and he's been doing really well. I would never ever look at this deal and say Milan have wasted money. I can't even believe there is a 50 million release clause, especially when you bear in mind so many teams across the world are in need of new strikers. He is a one striker that's shown last season I'm worth every penny. Now, do I feel like Milan would pay 50 million for him? No, I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's just paper talk. I think they're just maybe trying to threaten Juventus in a sense, which is if you guys don't budge, if Vlahovic doesn't budge and agree to our financial package, we've got other options. The other option is more expensive, but for good reason. He's had a far better campaign. And as of 2025, who is the better asset to invest into? Moise Kean or Vlahovic? It's Moise Kean, and that is a fact. But I genuinely feel like you bring him in, whether it's the 3-5-2, the 4-2-3-1. This dude is a good player. But then at the same time, it raises question marks. What does the future hold for Santi Gimenez? I would actually love to see both of them start together. But it's also being reported if the price is right, Milan might let go of somebody like Santi Gimenez. I don't know, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, Santi Gimenez is really coming across now like a panic buy in January. Because the fact that Milan are constantly linked with strikers throughout this entire summer, what does it tell you? Like, does it tell you they don't have faith in somebody like Santi Gimenez? And if that is the case, why? Was he not well scouted? You spent the whole of January chasing him. They spent the whole of last summer chasing him, trying to negotiate a deal. And all it took was 6 months? It's not really making sense, I'll be honest with you guys. The Yunus Musa deal has apparently stalled. I'm trying to fit in all of the breaking news from Milan. The Yunus Musa deal has stalled. I believe it's stalled over a matter of 4 million. Napoli are offering 20. Milan want 24. I feel like eventually one club will compromise. Listen, Yunus Musa, I feel like that chapter needs to come to an end. Even if you were to get 20 million for Yunus Musa, you're laughing. I'll be honest with you guys, you're laughing. It's a very, very, very good deal. It just makes sense for both parties. Like, if somebody said to me, how much do you quote Yunus Musa? I doubt I would have even said to you guys 20 million based on his final season at the club. But these are the things that are currently going on at Milan. Granit Xhaka, it's being reported that a deal will be sent over this week. The only thing that's like worrying for me is Milan, for a club that are not in the Club World Cup, they're moving a bit slow. I'll be like, have any of you guys realized that they're moving a bit slow? Like, the Granit Xhaka deal shouldn't be taking over a week. You're linked with Javi Herrera, who literally just the other day scored once again in the Under-21s European Championship. You're linked with Javi Herrera. You're linked with Granit Xhaka. You're looking at Ardon Jashari. You want yourself a new striker. They're moving very slow. And the issue that I have with clubs that move slow in the transfer market, the more you move slow, the more you delay and prolong things, the more you allow other clubs to enter the frame. So maybe Granit Xhaka is your primary target, but you're now trying to negotiate a deal. Another club might be like, oh, what? Bayer Leverkusen, they want 20 million for him, 15 million for him. No problem. I'm not here to negotiate. Here's the 20 million. Like, Bayer Leverkusen don't really owe Milan anything. It's first come, first serve. Whoever pays first gets the player. Now, maybe, just maybe, Milan are working on something behind the scenes that will shock everybody. But if I'm looking at the players that they're linked with, not many clubs are interested in them. And a lot of clubs are in the Club World Cup. You need to capitalize on this situation. You need to pounce. Nobody wants Javi Herrera. But I can guarantee you, if he continues to have a good campaign, more and more clubs will look at him. Ardon Jashari, nobody's currently linked with him. But maybe, just maybe, in a few months' time, some more clubs will look at him. You don't want to get into a bidding war. You're interested in a player. You know what the price is. Either pay it or move on to your next target. I feel like they're moving a bit slow. But anyways, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, always engage in the comments, and I will catch you guys on another one.